Welcome back. Let me take you to Georgia now, where a former MAGA firebrand's empty seat is about to get an election test. Georgia voters head to the polls tomorrow for a special election to replace Marjorie Taylor Greene. And the field is crowded with over 15 potential candidates in this ruby red district. To win, a candidate has to clear 50% of the vote. And if that doesn't happen, the race advances to a runoff election in less than a month with two of the top candidates. Let's bring in Washington Bureau Chief for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, Tia Mitchell, and Georgia Democratic Party Chair Charlie Bailey. All right, Tia, set this race up for us and why it's so competitive.
Well, it's competitive because it's an open seat in a very conservative district. I think it's competitive because of the precedent that Marjorie Taylor Greene set in this seat and what she was able to do kind of in raising her own platform and her own notoriety through serving in Congress. And she brought a lot of attention on the seat, a lot of attention when she resigned, and now a lot of attention on who will be her successor in Congress.
Trump's choice for this race, District Attorney Clay Fuller, has not been able to clear the field for himself. Tia, why is that? What's happening with the MAGA mojo there?
Well, I mean, some of it is, I think Trump's endorsement came, this has been a quick process. So qualifying was quick. There were already 16 Republicans that qualified, and then Trump made his endorsement. Yes, a couple, I would say 2 or 3, have since withdrawn from the race, but most of the other Republicans stayed in because they're all running as MAGA Trump Republicans. They just don't have Trump's endorsement.
Charlie, we have seen Democrats overperform since Trump's election last year. What's your party's argument to the voters right there in this very red district, right in Marjorie Taylor Greene's backyard?
Well, first I'll say, Anna, the fact that the president came here, a couple of weeks ago, to campaign in a Trump plus 37 seat. If I was telling you, national Democrats were campaigning in Harris plus 37 seats, that'd be a flashing warning sign. You'd be like, Charlie, I don't think you're doing your job very well. So I think that's the first. The second thing is, Tia rightly described, you got an all-out MAGA fest, whether they got Trump's endorsement or not. They are all trying to audition for who can buck up these terrible policies that are driving up people's prices. And on the other side, we've got Sean Harris, who we've endorsed at the party. Retired brigadier general and cattle farmer who's actually focused on the people of Northwest Georgia and making their lives better and not just kowtowing to Trump and the MAGA crowd. So it's a good choice for the people of Northwest Georgia, and they should vote for Sean tomorrow.
Tia, has the feud between Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump had any impact here?
I don't think much on the race. She's really not being mentioned much, particularly among the Republicans as they're campaigning. Again, this Camp Trump and Republicans clinging to President Trump, saying they're going there to support his agenda and support him. Of course, Sean Harris as the Democrat saying we can do better than what Trump has been showing us. He's really trying to get Republicans to cross over and support him. We'll see how much that works. Marjorie Taylor Greene has stayed quiet about this race. She did not endorse. She has not weighed in on the race publicly. Yes, she remains pretty active on social media, but much of that is focused on Trump and criticizing him. So I think most of the race really has not focused on her, except for you do hear Democrats saying Marjorie Taylor Greene quit on the district. That's another reason why Sean Harris thinks voters should consider choosing him, again, asking them to cross over and try supporting a Democrat. I don't know how much that's going to work in this very conservative district, but that's part of his message.
Charlie, former President Biden won your state in 2020. Again, talking statewide, Trump swung it back in 2024. But we've seen Democrats make gains in other GOP districts this year. What are you doing to ensure that your party can achieve lasting power in the state of Georgia?
Well, you mentioned before, back the same night the Virginia governor's race and New Jersey governor's race happened, we won the 2 first non-federal statewide wins in 20 years, electing 2 Democrats to the PSC. And then after that, we followed that up with flipping a Trump plus 12 state house district. So we've got the momentum here because we are building through organizing, paid direct spend. We're taking an argument to the people of Georgia that, frankly, they ain't got to put up with this. And here in our state, Republicans have been in charge for 23 years. The American dream is less attainable now than it was 23 years ago when they took power. That's the message we're bringing to voters. And frankly, Anna, they don't need us to tell them that. They know it because they experience it in their own lives. And that's why when we have elections here, they're coming out to vote against Trump and vote against this Republican leadership because they're sick of it.
Charlie Bailey and Tia Mitchell, this is an election to watch, certainly as a little bit of a test, litmus test heading into the midterms. We appreciate you both. Up next, a mess at airports as lengthy TSA lines become a bigger nightmare for travelers.